The ninth day of the marriage equality case concluded today. After 5 days of hearings, the respondent concluded their arguments against the legal recognition of non-heterosexual marriages. Most of the arguments today were reiterations of the stance that Parliament was the competent authority to make changes on the matter and not the Supreme Court. Additional Solicitor General Ms. Aishwarya Bhati anchored her argument on the welfare of children. She argued that because the state had an interest in child welfare, it could regulate the meaning of marriage. Procreation through a biological heterosexual union is the norm and the sacrament of marriage. When the bench pointed out that adoption is an option even for unmarried persons, Ms. Bhati suggested that adoption is the exception and not the norm. Moreover, even adoption is extensively regulated by the state to ensure children went to nurturing homes. At the core of her arguments was the belief that only heterosexual households would be the most nurturing environments for a child. Mr. Sai Deepak, representing a women's welfare organization, took a different stance. He claimed that if a legal change was sought to alter the institution of marriage, a declaration by the Supreme Court was not the way. A social discourse was needed. Interestingly, Mr. Deepak also argued that by seeking a declaration of rights from the Supreme Court, the petitioners were taking away the powers of the President to assent to a law. In the second half of the day, Senior Advocate A.M. Singhvi commenced the rejoinder arguments on behalf of the petitioners. Mr. Singhvi offered suggestions on how to make the provisions of the Special Marriage Act workable. He said that for provisions of the Special Marriage Act that intersect with other legislations such as the Hindu Succession Act, the rules for heterosexual couples could apply to LGBTQIA+ couples. That is, Hindu LGBTQIA couples would have the same succession rules as Hindu heterosexual couples under the Special Marriage Act. The bench appeared unconvinced. They asked how this would be possible in provisions where the wife was given special rights under the law. In a same-sex couple, who was the wife and what rights could they have? The hearings are expected to conclude tomorrow after 10 long days of arguments. During the hearing today, Chief Justice Chandrachud indicated that the Supreme Court will deliver judgments in 2 big Constitution Bench cases tomorrow. Decisions are expected in the much-awaited Maharashtra political crisis case and the power tussle between the union and state governments over the control of civil servants in the NCT of Delhi. Stay tuned to SE Observer for updates from the Supreme Court.